Indiana Jones, Indiana. It's a podcast about Indiana Jones. Every movie, 1 minute at a time. Indiana Jones Minute.
Welcome back to the Indiana Jones Minute. This is the podcast where we look down like deities on the movie Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, 1 minute at a time. I'm Tom Taylor.
I'm Pete Mummer.
I'm Gerald Christopher walking through ice cream flavors porter.
And I am Ken Plume.
Ken, welcome back.
Hi, guys.
You are the monarch of the sea, aren't you?
I am the monarch, yes. The thing is that the time to do that voice is on the Indiana Jones ride at Disneyland. People love that. Oh my God! Over there! Look! Oh my gosh! What? Oh no! What? Over there! Fire!
Bringing the ride alive for me. This is great.
The steering wheel doesn't even work.
We're on some sort of track.
Shut him up!
All right. Well, don't shut up now, because we got to talk about minute 39 of Crystal Skull, which begins with Indy saying that the first part of Ox's riddle is about the Nazca lines, and it ends with Indy once again taking a nap on a plane with a hat over his eyes.
It's the only reason he keeps the hat, right? Have we determined that now?
Yeah, probably. Yeah,
That makes sense.
it's his sleep mask.
Well, this is we see him in his Indiana Jones outfit
Uh-huh.
at the in this minute. It's his lion taming outfit. This is a big minute. It's a huge minute. We got a lot of stuff. We get maps.
Yeah.
We got his lion taming outfit.
Yeah.
And some nice pictures of the Nazca lines.
We get him taking a huge book and opening right to the page that he needs.
Yeah.
Just like
Oh,
he
you know
does.
what's weird? He opens it to the page right before the page
That's
that he
true.
needs.
That's still
Yeah.
pretty close. That's pretty
Well,
good.
that's so
it
it
is,
looks
it is.
natural that it doesn't just open up to the page, right?
Yeah. Back when he was in his 30s, he could open right to the exact page. Now he's 80 or something.
Also, you notice that the bookmark for the book is in the page prior, which makes it easy to open up to that page right next to the page he needs to get to.
I wonder if it's like the magic trick where you like tell somebody to guess a number, and then depending on what they say, oh, well, then look under the phone, and then there's a piece of paper under the phone that says, I knew you were thinking of the number 3.
Your
So
card
like
is the
Ox's
ace
riddle
of
had been like,
clubs.
oh, he's sending us to the Great Wall of China. He'd open up a book about the Great Wall of China or something. There it is.
Indy, by this point, must have learned some amazing card tricks.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
Over the course of the adventures and so much flight time, you can't tell me that he hasn't found ways to entertain himself.
He's hell at solitaire.
Do you think he puts the bookmark in there and he's like, this is the book that I pull out when I want to look at the Nazca lines?
Maybe that's
Yes.
like every book has like the
This
perfect
is Baby's
thing
first
marked.
book of plots.
Yeah. How to talk to kids about Nazca lines.
You're the kid.
Yeah. Come here, kid. I never had a kid to read this book to.
Also,
Get over
how
here.
much does it cost at this point? We're getting into the 50s, late 50s, almost to the 60s now,
Mhm.
to charter a plane to South America.
That's a good
Because he's
question.
the only one
yeah.
on this. And the plane interior doesn't seem to match the stock exterior shots, which shows a much larger plane, but he's right behind the cockpit.
Well, I think they're on two different planes.
Well, no, there's
Yeah.
aren't there 3 different planes? I mean, look, we're
That'd
jumping
be
way ahead
extravagant.
here.
Yeah,
we're
let's-
yeah.
This is the end of the
jumping way
minute.
ahead here.
Let's roll it back
First
to the
of
big
all,
book
I
of
mean,
plots.
Totally lost control.
Yeah. So what? So okay. So the skull is in Nazca, Peru,
Mm-hmm.
but that those lines lead us to Oriana's cradle.
Right.
Why is cradle
Well, I think they get into that later, but it's weird
Yeah.
because you would
his
think
cradle?
that the cradle would be Trujillo, Spain.
Yeah. Well, he gets to
Ah.
that later, doesn't he?
Yeah, he
I think he
does.
says that. in
Does
the
he?
few
Okay.
minutes,
Yeah.
yeah.
Is that a plot point that you didn't care about by the time it came around? So
The whole thing
didn't
comes together
stick.
in that moment. Yeah. It finally holds water.
Look at his pretty
Okay,
mask.
so we we get our our wonderful famous Indy map, our travel map.
Oh, before
right?
before
You're
that,
still skipping
go
over
ahead.
stuff, Jerry Porter. Settle
Oh
down.
my gosh.
God.
there's a deleted scene here, or well, not deleted scene, but there's the script has a lot more here.
Okay.
Are there more
'Cause-
pages he turns to before he finds the image?
Yes, he has like 8 pages.
Here's me at summer camp.
I want to show you this picture over here. This is me at the sock hop.
But he tells Mutt that there's a reason the Russians want the skull, and he says he thinks there's a potential.
Oh, he
weapon
figured out
that
a
they
reason?
can use. Yeah, he's got a reason. And then Mutt says, "If I can get my mom back, they can have it." And then he says, "Let's go and try not to slow me down." And as Mutt starts to bolt out the door, Indy kind of pauses and goes, "Akator, that'd be the find of a lifetime." And then he starts moving towards his bedroom, and he says, "That would create a reputation no politician could touch." And then he opens the bedroom door, and you see his
What?
Indy costume in the closet.
Really?
So he
Yeah.
hangs his indie costume
Yeah,
as a set in the closet?
yeah.
Hold on, let me change in this telephone booth over here.
So wait, he wants to make an amazing archaeological discovery to keep the feds off his back?
Beyond the ones he's already made?
Yeah,
That's so weird.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad they
I'm
took
gonna-
that
I'm
out.
It is.
I'm going to call that a solid cut.
Yep.
Cut that right out of the movie. Don't even film it.
Akator, that would be the find of a lifetime.
Yeah.
Because that scares the politicians into making you untouchable.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. He found Akator. He can't be a commie.
I mean, he found the Holy Grail.
Yeah. The Ark of the Covenant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like Mayor Vaughn. He's like, oh, so you don't have the Grail.
These aren't the fish you're looking for.
But then we begin the travel montage.
I don't. Yeah. So they basically in that moment, they're giving Indy a reason beyond finding Marion to
I
want to
guess
go
so.
on this mission. It's like the Marion thing wasn't enough per the script. Let's
Well, he
give
still
him
doesn't
the
know about Marion.
Yeah, he doesn't know
extra
about Marion yet.
incentive.
Yeah, he has to have a
Yeah.
reason to want to go, and apparently Ox wasn't enough.
Yeah. So it's not. So my friend isn't enough.
Yeah.
Right.
And if
But
the
this
movie
might-
doesn't tell you enough times, they went to college together.
But this might get me out of trouble with the feds for being a subversive spy.
Have you started that list yet for the movie on how many times he mentions that they went to college together? Because that's a drinking game for this movie.
Yeah. We probably should have started that a while ago.
Because nearly
Oh, well.
every other scene, it's we were in college together, and back in college, Ox and I. Well, you never
The
believe what
Ox.
Ox did back in college.
Here's why we call him the Ox.
Yeah.
Well, okay, but so there's all this stuff about like, okay, only the gods can read the Nazca lines, and that's why they're magical, and that's why but isn't this like that's all been kind of explained, hasn't it? That like weren't the Nazca lines
1957, thank you.
I don't. Well, okay, that's one of my questions. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
like now we sort of get that, like that you actually can see them from the ground, or at least you could see them from the ground, like when they were made, like they were on hills.
but they
and then,
have they've shown how they can make them pretty easily because they
yeah,
basically scratched it's an amazing place. Like the desert is covered with this dark surface, and underneath is a really light topsoil. So when they scrape the surface away, it leaves this light color underneath, which makes these really beautiful lines. But it only works because there's almost no wind and no rain here. And so they like if this were anywhere else on Earth, they would have disappeared in like 50 years.
yeah.
But they found it's interesting because archaeologists have found wooden stakes that are slightly older than the lines themselves, which are about like they date kind of approximately the time of Christ. And they posit they used rope guides, and they have shown pretty easily that you can use big ropes and draw these shapes that you would draw in a small scale, and then use ropes to make them in a big scale.
Just scale it up.
Yeah, just scale it up.
Yeah.
Well, so can you, like, say it's 2,000 years ago or 1,000 years ago, whatever?
Or
Can
5
you
years ago.
actually? Yeah, could you have seen them from the sky? I mean,
I thought you
why
could
did-
because there is elevation. It's not like it's know
That's-
Kansas.
Right.
Yeah, no, that's kind of what I was wondering.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought it also has been shown that in that area you can get up to a high enough elevation to see the things.
Yeah, because there are mountains right behind him. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Only gods could make it to the top of those mountains.
And like I said last time, I forget how like the alien figures into the story, but like they don't try to tie the Nazca lines into everything, do they?
No, they
like,
fortunately they don't, because that's kind of a goofy Von Daniken thing. But
don't they make some passing reference, like, this is like the child's drawings on the refrigerator for their god alien parents to see? Like I drew you a picture in the ground.
Do.
I thought,
wait, do they really?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Oh my God.
And that's him even referencing only the gods could see it.
Yeah.
That it was like they're making these pictures so their sky daddies and mommies can see as they fly away. The pretty pictures that they drew in the ground.
Well, you're like the one is a monkey.
Oh, that's my favorite.
They're telling the aliens, like, remember that monkey?
Yeah, or the hummingbird.
Yeah.
But it's like a monkey with like a stick up its butt. What is going on with that monkey
like
drawing?
Pooping out the sun, I think.
Is that?
That's how the sun was created.
My wife woke me up in the middle of the night last night because we had a spider in our bathroom that looked about like the Nazca line spider.
Oh, nice.
It was huge.
So who did you wake up to take care of it?
I wish I had. I stood on the edge of the bathtub because it was on the ceiling, and I got it, and then I fell off the bathtub, and I was half asleep. And it was like,
did you feel like a god in that moment, looking down at it?
I did not, in any way, shape, or form. I may have said the word God a few times, but
I know you, Peter. You took it out and like you put it on a piece of filler paper, and you walked it out to the backyard, and you said, "There you go, my little fellow."
I do that with bees. I don't do that with spiders.
I don't want to squish you in the house. I want to squish you outside.
Yeah.
I actually did that with a spider the other day.
Yeah, I
felt
do that
good about myself.
It's hard to do that when on the ceiling though, and it's 1:00 in the morning.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you're terrified.
Although for Jerry, that's like lunchtime.
I think the kids are still in the library at that time.
Are we going to all hunker down and get into a huge fight about this map starting out in New York?
No,
I think we're
fine done. We're black and blue.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Then can we move on?
Wait, back up. I want to know about this fight.
The second. Oh, yeah. Just listen to the last 4 years of our show. Okay, so let's talk about, curiously, where does the plane land and, quote, refuel after New York? Pete?
Yeah, Havana.
Yeah, it goes to Cuba.
Cuba, I don't think Castro was in power then.
I
did a little bit of research on it, and since it was a little bit, I don't know the answer.
So you just watched Godfather 2?
But apparently it was...
Exactly, I was going to say, that's sort of Godfather 2 time, isn't it?
There you go. No, it apparently, like, the revolution sort of started in the rumblings, like, 1953, and it went up... Yeah, and then I mean, and it was...
Yeah, but when was the actual
it went
overthrow of...
It sounds like it was. I'll say this. It was enough in Cuba that it would be suspect, especially if Indy has a good friend in Leipzig and he got called out for being a commie.
Yeah,
and
is this another tick in the box for him being a commie?
Yeah,
a secret commie.
Yeah, it's kind of of all places he goes to Cuba.
Yeah.
I mean, Cabo San Lucas wasn't having a revolution then.
That's true.
I mean,
that's true.
the plane could have stopped, it could have stopped in, I don't know, like Key West. I mean, there's a lot of places.
I thought it was going to stop at Key West.
Well,
yeah,
I mean,
that was weird.
He's flying commercial. He's flying Pan Am. So was Pan Am flying into Cuba at that time? This is the research you were supposed to have done before we started.
Yeah.
Well,
Has Michael Corleone already told Fredo that he knows it was him, or has that happened yet?
I bet that maybe he's there at the same time. That would be cool if they meet.
Yeah, maybe.
Or do you think Indy stops and plays some roulette?
Maybe he's got to pay for all these plane tickets.
Yeah.
Yeah, where is this money coming from?
Well, he seems pretty loaded. His house is pretty nice.
Is he selling these? Has it been formalized that he sells these items he recovers to museums? Because we see it in Raiders, where it's in Raiders, right? Where he's talking about where Marcus is telling him, "Oh, these will fetch. This will, of course, we'll buy these pieces."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So there is a transactional nature to what he is looting from these archaeological sites.
And that seems to be his primary driver, is not to learn about the past or our own relation to humanity. Is
to furnish this massive home as a professor with some personal pieces that he's kept back to decorate.
Yeah.
What makes you wonder? So at age 58, has Indy found fortune and glory?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I mean, what's the definition of glory? None of his discoveries are public.
Yeah, that's true.
If we go by that cutscene that you mentioned, he's looking to make himself bulletproof from politicians by making a public discovery. So it seems like everything he's done to this point. I mean, the agents have to be informed by the general at the beginning of this film who he is and why he's important.
Yeah.
So it's seemingly not common knowledge that he does anything.
That's a good point. Yeah.
He wasn't on the cover of Life.
Yeah.
It seems at any point.
If he earns enough fortune, though, that'll make up for the glory. Maybe.
Yeah.
It'll feel like glory.
Yeah.
Well, he does try and pinch a knife later from a tomb. So he's clearly still on the lookout.
Like he was poised for some absolutely serious glory because they hadn't found Templo Mayor in Mexico City yet. And he flies right through Mexico City and leaves her right behind.
That's right.
I mean, he passes up a lot of stuff. Did he post-war go back to, all the sites and raiders that he uncovered? Did he lead, full excavations of those? Did they go back to the map room post-war?
No.
Wow.
He cared.
They should.
I mean, how serious was he? He discovered an unfound, lost to antiquity city.
Mm-hmm. No, he should be Howard Carter right now, but I don't think anybody knows about.
Yeah, where's the the flash forward exhibit to the touring collection of all the crap that he looted from?
Yeah, but what happened to the map room after Indy left?
I mean, it's still intact.
Did the next guy come down?
Just wrote some more on some of the models in there. Yeah.
I feel like Indy's the guy that would throw a stick of dynamite in it to blow it up when he leaves.
We also just say,
that's true.
Just as a plan, in a small map room that doesn't have any doorways out, breaking the stick and just tossing casually a couple of pieces was not a great plan to keep people off the trail.
Yeah.
No, you know what that reminds me of? That's like the people who, pick up discarded lotto tickets. And they see, and you're like, but in the case of, Indy's staff, you're like, oh, you're a winner.
I wonder how he could have figured out what. Okay. I found a stick. Oh, and this otherwise, completely pristine, just covered with sand, small miniature city. There's a couple of broken stick pieces. Oh, they form a whole stick.
Well,
wait. So, do we have 2 or 3 planes?
We actually do have 3. I'm just looking.
Yeah, I thought it was 3.
Because it's New York to Havana and then to Mexico City and then to Cusco.
Right. So how on earth does Mutt get his motorcycle on the first plane?
Can we also just talk about, as far as the Mutt of it all? Because you've been doing your Mutt watch, and we talked about storm clouds are forming. And this, for me, is when the clouds break and the torrent comes down. Because why does he bring his bike with him? What was the conversation? What was the plan? We're bringing the bike to the jungle on this. How was that a because it's not like Mutt would have paid to bring his bike with. This would have been out of pocket for Indy, for this person who's still a stranger. It's not like my kid wants to bring his motorcycle. I don't know. He's actually making a choice to pay I'm sure, insubstantial amount of money to bring what ultimately proves to be a useless motorcycle.
Yeah, I don't think he uses it after this, does he? Do we see him even ride?
Wouldn't it have been safer to go, hey, let's leave it back at my palatial estate. In the garage, nice and safe.
Gamble on them having some sort of vehicles in Mexico City or in Nazca.
Well, and to be fair, we don't know that Mutt isn't filthy rich.
That's true.
Like maybe Ox was a big grave robber too.
Keep them in grease alone. It's got to be a massive cost.
Yeah. You're just slathering it all over libraries all over the place. Yeah. Needs to replenish.
Well, you wonder, it's not a wise choice to take to Peru. Like, I'm going to take my Harley to Peru, and then we're going to go in, jungles, rainforests, whatever. We're going to go. I don't know.
We're going to go tomb diving.
Yeah.
With your motorcycle.
Yeah. That'll be the hardest part of the video game.
Is just stupid.
Well, maybe it's his security blanket. That's like his teddy bear.
Yeah. It's basically.
Do you think he started crying when Indy told him that they'd have to leave it behind?
I mean,
no, man, no.
Mom,
I can't leave it.
on.
It's like my bike, man. You can't. No. Are you going to cry the whole way? Yeah.
Probably.
Fine, we'll take it.
Jerry, you haven't mentioned what I thought you would mention yet.
Oh.
What's that?
There is an enormous bulge in Indy's trousers when he sits down.
Oh, where? Wait, on the plane?
Yeah, like
I want to
second
see the
50.
Pizza,
Yeah.
I like how you just sparked to that.
I love Pete's senses. Extra sensory.
He's your wingman.
Yeah, he's.
And check out the bulge over there, Jerry.
I was.
Oh my
sure
God.
that was Jerry's
Wait a
biggest
minute.
note.
That's
Wait
his
a
bag
minute.
of sand, I think. I think he just keeps his bag of sand.
I think it's where he keeps the boulder.
Oh my God! No, Pete. You're absolutely right. What is going on?
I think that's his Temple of Doom.
Good grief.
Wow.
That's a misunderstanding.
Yeah.
And he's kind of sitting there, like he kind of leans back on the plane, like, "Yep."
Well, maybe he's thinking back to Willie on the plane. He's remembering Willie on the plane.
Maybe he brought the painting with him.
Wow, that's kind of crazy.
Wow.
I mean, if there's any way to bring the conversation to a dead halt,
All just staring at a bulge.
I feel like saying maybe that's like one of those things, like your nose and your ears. It keeps growing your whole life.
Gross.
Battle of the Bulge.
Well, Pete, I got a question for you.
Okay.
I know you
want to hear this follow up.
I don't know. You're a big fan of the score, in all these movies, and so I feel like the map music is iconic. And
I thought you were talking about the Frank Oz film, The Score, starring Marlon Brando and. Okay, so no. Yeah.
Well, here we get sort of an updated version with trills and filigree. So what do you think? Yeah.
I like it. This feels good. This feels like it's like a happy Raiders map march.
I mean, it's definitely
which just further
different.
deflates.
Yeah.
any of the emotional
not
have.
the trousers.
It's played by Snuffleupagus.
I mean, we were talking in the last minute about this film that seemingly continually undermines the emotional investment or urgency of whatever crisis is supposed to be represented by the plot. And to go that sort of trilly and upbeat in the score, like it's not just an adventure march. Like you get, with the traditional map journey pieces.
Yeah.
This feels more, back to using that word, rompy. It just sort of bouncy. It feels too bouncy. Like it's a hat on a hat of going across the map. Almost like it's a celebration of the map music.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's like, look, folks, aren't you happy to see the map again? Look at this. It's fun. It's a map, guys.
You know what? So we see Indy with his iconic snooze right on the plane. Yeah. That's in Raiders. Is there a movie?
No wonder he's exhausted.
Yeah. No wonder there's so much trills and filigree.
That's why they stopped in Havana.
Is there a movie where he doesn't, take an iconic snooze? He does. Well, he does in Temple of Doom. On Loud Chase.
Raiders.
Yeah. Does he in
traveling hat.
Last Crusade? I think.
Yeah, because isn't that
before they
the
get to
start?
Venice?
Well, I thought that is also when when he's on the Zeppelin. Isn't that the first thing he goes to do? Is to take his snooze as his dad's reading the paper?
I don't think so.
Oh,
I don't think. Wow.
I thought that was his move, was to put the hat down.
No, I don't think he does that. That's like with Willie on in Temple of Doom. He does that.
Yeah.
This is the great debate now. There are people
Does he
screaming
not
at
do it
us
in Last
as they're
Crusade?
listening.
Yeah, we're not very good at this. Oh, well.
You should start a podcast where you watch it minute by minute, and maybe you'd catch those little things.
See, then we'd know everything. How would we miss anything if we did it that way? We'd be experts.
Where's the Zeppelin?
Maybe Last Crusade is the only one where he doesn't do it.
I'm wondering if he. What about? Oh, they take a boat in Venice. I don't know.
Meh.
Yeah. I don't know.
Well, speaking of iconic snooze,
Hey.
Oh,
yes. Wait, something's coming in over the wire.
Hey, can I try to guess your question?
Oh,
You
wow.
absolutely can, and I am going to wager that there is a 5% chance you get it. So let me set you up. Are you ready?
I'm
Yep.
so excited.
This just in from Professor Christy Porter.
Question: why does the map say Belize when it was British Honduras until 1973?
Wow.
Whoa.
Did I
And
get
he
it?
had a run-in in Honduras, didn't he? That we heard
Yeah.
about from
Oh,
Chad
yeah.
Hall.
Yeah.
Wow. Good call. Good call, Pete. That's not the question, but
Oh, no, you're supposed to go, yeah, you nailed it.
yeah, you got it. It's the end of the show.
It's not like this film is sloppy in any other ways.
No, here we go. This just in from Professor Christy, my sister. Is Jacques flying the plane?
No.
Those guys
Well,
are
wait
too
a minute
well-dressed.
though. It's a very, very small plane, and what's really weird is so from Mexico City to Cuzco, they just like rented the plane for just the two of them.
I think
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's
Yeah.
been established in theme park continuity that Jacques started his hangar bar in Florida. He built his hangar bar
Yeah.
and retired to Florida as the owner of the hangar bar.
He's living the life.
Well, then he could have
there you
easily
go.
like dropped down to Havana and ferried them on from there. He would have been pretty close.
Nah, he's probably over that. Why would he want to participate in that anymore? I mean, after the tragic loss of Reggie,
Yeah. Yeah.
I think
takes
he's
a
in
lot out
mourning
of a
for the rest
person.
of his life.
Well, now that we've settled the mystery of Jock, Ken, thank you so much for joining us this week. This was awesome.
Wow.
I hope you had
Is this
fun.
actually the shortest we've done so far?
Well, yeah, maybe.
No, I think our original.
It's not over
we-
yet. I mean,
we did have a Raiders minute 9 or minute 11 that was 9 minutes, didn't we?
Yeah.
yeah, it was pretty short.
Yeah.
We've been
That
sub-
was,
When we
those
very
were
first
beautiful
started.
days. Yeah.
we were so young, so foolish. Not like now, like strong and smart and handsome.
So as we got to the end of this particular minute, and I made my
Mhm.
my assertion at the front about your Mutt watch.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Where do things stand at this point when
You
you,
know-
take into the consideration of insisting on bringing a motorcycle on a 3-plane journey to South America that you do not see for the rest of the film?
I do think it's weird that they go to the effort of showing that they went to the effort of bringing the bike, but I sort of don't count that as a knock against Mutt. I think that's, the filmmakers not making a ton of sense for some reason.
I mean, we're talking within the film. How do you justify it?
Within the film, maybe he had it in his head that it would be a good form of transportation to bring with them. And also I feel like it wouldn't have happened if Indy didn't go along with it. So maybe if he thought it was a good idea, if Indy thought it was a good idea,
To shut the kid up who was crying his eyes out.
yeah, or just whatever. Like,
I can't leave
I
it,
don't
man.
know.
I can't leave it. You just get
For
in
some
the
reason, I'm
plane.
not counting this as a knock against against Mutt.
Now, you know what? Here's what it is. And I'd like to get a sad bell, please.
Oh my gosh, we're gonna wear this thing out.
I'm sorry, we're gonna put some trills on it.
No, they want us to they want us to like and like Mutt and think he's really cool and associate him with like an awesome 1950s Harley leather jacket thing, and they're just sort of forcing it. We don't know anything about the guy except he has a leather jacket and he loves his motorcycle and he's a motorcycle guy from the 50s, like some.
So if the bike wasn't
Marlon
there,
Brando
we wouldn't have
thing.
recognized him on the plane.
Yes, exactly. They're
Where'd the guy
trying
with the bike
to
go?
they're trying to get us to think that Mutt is actually really cool.
Or a character.
Yeah, or a character. Like this is
Or
his
in the movie.
bullwhip.
Yeah. Yeah, that they have to buy an extra seat for.
It's gone. He
Yeah.
lost his bike.
And like not even like in a way. Like it just sort of stops being in the movie, doesn't it?
Yeah, because
Yeah, we'll
we
see.
go straight from this scene to the asylum.
Mm-hmm.
Like as soon as they
They
land.
don't allow bikes. They don't allow bikes in the asylum.
I mean, neither did the library, and that didn't stop him. I'm telling you, if he was a real greaser rebel, no one's going to tell him where his
Yeah.
bike can't go. Went all the way to South America. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Well, Ken, thank you again. Oh, tell people where they can find your show and find you one more time.
At Ken Plume on Twitter and Ken Plume on Instagram and kenplume.com. Links to a whole bunch of stuff, including a bit of a chat, which is the podcast I do. And yeah, those are all the places to find me to argue with me that Mutt's a real character. I'll probably hear from Shia now that I think about it.
Oh, it could be. Yeah. Let us know what he says. He's going to be furious.
I'm sure he'll be like, let's go to Dave and Buster's and we'll talk about it over pizza or something. We'll have him make a night of it, I guess. How about that?
Sweet.
I brought my bike.
You planned this all along just so that would happen. And if you need to have some words with us, if we've offended you or brought some new reasonableism to your life this week, please find us on Facebook and Indiana Jones Minute and the Listener's Crusade. That's our group over there. And you can also find us at patreon.com/Indiana Jones Minute, where you can help support the show and get lots of extra stuff like early access to these shows, our bonus show, Anything Goes, where we talk about tons of other stuff, including the aforementioned Mummy. And you can get postcards from me and Pete and Jerry, and it's a party. So find us in all these places.
Can I make a request?
And oh yeah, please do.
I want to see a Goofitude t-shirt
Oh yeah, okay.
with the show
That shouldn't be
logo
hard.
available to
Any
your
random-
patrons. And I want everyone to wear it with pride as they think of
Yes.
Crystal Skull,
How else could you wear such a
the
shirt
official
with pride?
Indiana Jones Minute Goofitude shirt.
Coming soon, supposedly. Here.
I think
On the
it's
Indiana
it's legally
Jones
binding.
I'll even wear it as Harrison Ford. I'll wear that shirt for you. I guess. Do I wear shirts? I think so. I don't know.